Welcome to ATR 792A, Professional Standards in Athletic Training 1. My name is Jim Ave. I am the professor for our class, and I want to welcome you to our class and our time together. If you don't have the syllabi in front of you, please have that. I'll go over some things in that. First, I want to tell you my contact information is there on the syllabus and also in our class. I'm here to help and answer any questions that you may have about our class. I have my email address, which is typically the best way to contact me. I also have my office phone number, my office hours when I'm actually here on campus. And I also have my cell phone number, and you see there are time restrictions there on my cell phone. If you call or text me on my cell, please let me know who you are, what class you're in, and all those type of things. If you call me, leave me a voicemail, because more than likely I won't answer, because I don't answer the phone if I don't know the number. Just because I get a lot of junk phone calls, but I'll get right back to you unless I'm in a meeting or something like that. So let's start our class by looking at a Bible verse. You'll see that is on top of the syllabus. In each one of my classes, I have a Bible verse. I try to pick a verse that represents our class, and the verse I picked for this class is from Colossians chapter 3, verse 17, from the New International Version. Paul wrote, "And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him." The reason I picked this verse for this class is because we're going to talk a lot about your work as an athletic trainer in this class. So this verse talks about our attitude and the way that we work, and we do it with an attitude of thanksgiving, giving God thanks for the things that we are allowed to do and get the opportunity to do. We'll learn in this class that we'll talk about in this class through one of the assignments about God calling us to our vocation, or the thing that we do as work as athletic trainers. Since we've been called by God to do those things, we should do it with an attitude of thanksgiving and be pleasing God in the way that we work. So since we're talking about our class, what is this class about? You'll see on the screen I have a picture of the BOC Standards of Professional Practice, which is included in class. You download that document. It's a pretty short document, a couple pages. But we're going to dive into these professional practice standards through our two classes. This is part one, the class that you're in now. Then there's a part two that you'll take later in the program. And I've separated the practice standards and codes of professional responsibility into half. And we'll cover the first half this class and the second half in the second class. And you'll learn how you actually are meeting these standards as an athletic trainer at your work as an athletic trainer. The other book that hopefully you've already purchased for our class is Courage and Calling by Gordon T. Smith. We'll use these as part of our devotionals in our class, and I'll talk about that a little bit in this presentation, but more in another presentation. So the main assignments for our class, and I have descriptions for each assignment in the syllabus and within Moodle. So the professional portfolios are the signature assignment for this class. If you haven't figured it out by now, in all our classes in the program, we have what's called signature assignments, which are really critical assignments that are designed to test you, evaluate you, and meeting particular standards in our program. For this class, in the first couple weeks of our class, I'll have rough drafts to help you through the process of writing your professional portfolio. I'll help you through that process, and like this week you'll see you have a video where I'm going to go over the first couple sections that you'll write, give you some examples of how you should write that, provide you a template, and help you through that process. And by the end of week one, you'll turn in your first rough draft, and and then I'll give you feedback on that rough draft, and then you'll turn in another rough draft in week 2, and I'll give you more feedback, and by the time we turn in your first professional portfolio by the end of week 4, you'll have a nice first professional portfolio. So the next professional portfolio, you know the process. So I'm here to help you through the process. You'll see that there are progress reports. These assignments are just to make sure that you're keeping track on what you're supposed to be doing. It's keep you accountable for your work. The other thing, at the end of our class, it's called a reflection paper, where you'll reflect on what you learned over the time in this class. What are your areas of strengths? What are things that kind of surprised you during this process, reflecting on the first half of the professional standards. And I'll have a presentation about that assignment later in our class. For our class, we have a Courage and Calling Reflections, which are our devotionals for our class, which I talked about a little bit earlier. I'm going to have a presentation. I'll discuss this a little bit more. Take a look in our class to see what chapters you should be reading for the first 2 weeks in our class. If you're had me before as a professor or concurrently in another class with me, you'll hear this quite a bit, because I want to make sure that I tell you how to be successful in my classes. That goes back to educational theory, that in order for students to be successful, they have to be taught how to be successful. First and most important is you need to want to learn the material. You have to be internally motivated to want to learn the material in this class. I mean, it's all this material most of the material, I'd say 80% to 90% of the material in a graduate program is all geared towards athletic training, so it should be something that you're interested in anyways. But have that internal motivation, that fire to want just to learn the material, and don't try to do this just to get a grade. I don't even like putting point values on assignments, but I have to give you a grade. And I've also learned that if I don't put point values on assignments, some students will not do the assignments. If you're really not sure what's going on, ask questions. That's true of this class and any other class that you're in. Ask the professors. We're here to help. What I like to do is start in the question and answer forum or the Q&A forum, because if you have questions, more than likely other students have the exact same questions. So post them there. I'll get back to you pretty quickly and respond to you. If you're still unsure, let's set up a time to talk on the phone or maybe email, whatever works best for us. But if we're going to talk on the phone, I need to put it in my schedule because I'm pretty busy. So it works best for me if we schedule that, even if it's 10 minutes. A lot of times I'm free and we can just do it pretty quickly, but other times it needs to be more lengthy discussion. But again, not only just me as your professor, but other professors in this program are here to help. So ask questions if you're unsure what's going on. Other one is time management. This is an accelerated master's program. You got a lot going on. There's a lot going on in a graduate program. To be successful in this program, you need to do work every single day in this program. Nice thing is you don't have to drive to a campus. You don't have to sit in a class for 4 hours a night and drive back home. You have the flexibility of doing the work whenever you want. If that's in the morning for a couple hours, you are free from whatever 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to do some work. Do that, but you need to do it every single day. Nothing but an emergency can interrupt what's going on. The students that wait to the weekends to do everything suffer. They don't do well in this class and any classes in the graduate program. Plus, you're not getting the most out of your program. So do a little bit every single day. Be on top of things. Requirements for our program is submit your assignments on time. This is a professional program, a post-professional program, so it's expected that you'll do your work on time and do a quality level, graduate level work. I don't like assignments late, and you'll see that there is a grade reduction if you have assignments submitted late. Okay, we're all adults here, at least I think we all are. Let's treat each other as adults. If you got something going on in your life that's going to cause you to have an assignment turned in late or whatever, just let me know what's going on. If that's a habitual thing, that's a different story. But if it's a one or two times things going on, you just got a really busy week at work, or you got sick, just communicate that with me. What kind of drives me nuts is when students wait till the last minute to tell me that they've been sick for 4 days. You've been sick for 4 days. And believe me, I get these emails. I've been sick for 4 days. And you email me at 10 o'clock at night that I can't get the assignment done on time. Well, you should have told me that after day 2 that you were sick. Just let me know you've got the flu, whatever, and I'm going to work with you. It's when you don't respect those type of things is when that's when I get a little bit upset. I have tried to provide you assignment directions, provide detail on that. Follow those directions. If you're unsure, ask. I'm kind of strict on formatting. That's one of the reasons why in this class I've provided templates for you to follow. Please use those. It's also your responsibility to learn APA for in-text citation when you're citing a reference, reference page, formatting, and a bunch of other things like that. That's a responsibility. You'll see I have a course announcement where I discuss a lot of this stuff. So yes, it matters to me. So please follow the formatting that I have asked you to follow. I'm not the best writer in the world. The university is providing a free to students account to Grammarly, which Grammarly is, as somebody told me, is like Microsoft Word. You know how in Microsoft Word, if you misspell something, it gives you a little squiggly line underneath it. Well, it's like that, but on steroids. You have a free account, and I'm going to require that you use Grammarly for written assignments in our class, and you can add this on into Firefox. Not sure about, I'll have to look to see if it's in Chrome and Safari too, whereas in your forum post, it will tell you if you have misspelled a word or if your grammar is incorrect. If you really struggle with writing, or even if you're a good writer, I still want you to use Grammarly, and I'll have more information about that inside our class. You are expected to work a minimum of 9 hours a week as an athletic trainer. That's usually not a problem. So hopefully you already have a gig for this class. You'll report this in some of the assignments, and that will go into another presentation. Most of our forum assignments have to do with courage and calling. My expectations here is that you treat each other with respect, with courage and calling post, but also that you have a thoughtful response to other students. In some of the other classes with the forums, those are considered formal assignments, which you'll hear that in another class. And you are expected to support what you write with references. Practice evidence-based academics. Check your email. You'll get some feedback through email. Most of the stuff's going to go to your FPU email. If you don't check that email, there is a way to forward that email address. I have information on how to forward that information from your FPU email to another email in the Moodle training course or Moodle orientation class on how to do that. class announcements, and those will be sent to your email, and you are held responsible for any kind of announcements that I make or any emails when I make updates to assignments or try to give you clarity on some assignments. Just so you know, on forums, I do not typically respond in a forum, but I am reading those things, and if I see some incorrect information, then I'll post something to the entire class. Especially in the rough drafts stage, please read the feedback. I typically provide feedback within Word using comments, or sometimes I'll use red words. I'll rewrite stuff in red so you can see it. Please read the feedback and make the changes that I'm asking you to make, because I'm spending a lot of time trying to help you learn that process. So please read the feedback. Some of it, if you're doing fine, there's not going to be a lot of feedback, and it'll probably be short and it says you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. Other times I may give you a lot of feedback in the paper, and I expect you to read the feedback, make the changes based on the feedback, especially when we're having multiple rough drafts. That's true not only in this class, but in other classes that you are doing rough drafts. That's the whole point of the rough drafts, is so we can help you through the process of learning the material. As always, if you're unsure what's going on, please ask questions. One thing I want to make sure that I end with is that on weekends, I may not get back to you as quickly as I do Monday through Friday, okay? So make sure that you know what's going on. If you have questions, ask earlier in the week versus later in the week, just because I'm pretty busy on weekends. So I cannot guarantee that I will respond to you on the weekends. But I'm here to help. I'm looking forward to our time together and getting to know you a little bit better as we go through this class and other classes together.